On the 1st of September in the year 2023, I started my journey to the starting point of the Utah Backcountry Discovery Route right from the heart of Salt Lake Valley. The Utah Backcountry Discovery Route starts at the border of Arizona and ends in Idaho. This route is best suited for dual-sport adventure motorcycles and 4x4 vehicles. There I was, a curious mix of excitement and nerves, pondering if I'd packed enough and whether the weather would play nice. After hours of venturing south, I finally decided to pull over to stretch my limbs and explore an abandoned gas station. The marvel of the West lies in its sprinkling of random deserted structures across the vast wilderness. You often randomly stumble upon these relics left to decay in the middle of nowhere. In the desert, a distant rainstorm sped up my journey towards Goblin State Park, the rest stop before my UTBDR adventure's official start. I settled in for the night and warmed up with mashed potatoes and broccoli by a campfire. In a Utah canyon, Goblin Park boasts eerie red rock formations resembling petrified goblins, shaped by ages of wind and water. These spires create a fantastical landscape, rumored to come alive under a full moon. Now, on the way to the starting point. Utah's valleys unfurled their breathtaking beauty before my eyes. Riding through Glen Canyon was a visual symphony, with every twist and turn serenading me with awe. After hours of riding, I reached the starting line of the Arizona-Utah border. I met Cameron, a fellow motorcycle enthusiast who shared my UTBDR dream there. We connected through a mutual friend who also loved motorcycles, and now, Cameron and I were set to conquer the first leg of the journey together. The UTBDR, a thrilling 871-mile ride, beckoned adventure seekers to explore Utah's hidden gems. Starting at the southern border, I left civilization and embraced the open road, a journey through a geological wonderland. Every twist and turn revealed a new masterpiece in this open-air art gallery of nature. Amidst the Valley of the Gods, serenity washed over me. The winds whispered, time echoed, and the sun painted the canvas with rich colors. Under a starry sky, I was both small and boundless, a lone traveler in a universe of wonders. Good morning. The sunrise is warming me up and preparing me for the day ahead. I find myself in the Valley of the Gods, located in the southern part of Utah, near the Arizona border. To summarize yesterday's journey, I spent the night at Goblin State Park, and the following morning, I rode to Mexican Hat, and from there, to the border between Arizona and Utah, where I had the pleasure of meeting Cameron. We continued our journey to this stunning location. We set up our tents, and the night was filled with spectacular natural lighting displays and a light rain. Now, as the new day dawns, I'm all set for day 2. My route begins in the Valley of the Gods, includes challenging switchbacks, and concludes in Monticello. Let's see how the rest of my trip unfolds. As a rider, I trod lightly, leaving naught but tire tracks in my wake, preserving this awe-inspiring terrain for generations yet unborn. Get ready for the grand moment, the Moki Dugway switchbacks. A thrilling descent of 1,200 feet over 3 miles with an 11% grade. The panoramic views from the top were spellbinding. The road ahead twisted and turned, leading to breathtaking heights. It was a reminder that the journey was as rewarding as the destination. Beyond the pavement, off-road trails promised new adventures, taking me to hidden spots. The rocks and dirt brought a thrilling smile, with the engine's roar and wind in my hair filling me with excitement. A pit stop at an iconic viewpoint was a visual masterpiece. The valley was laid out like a majestic canvas. While camping there tempted me, I knew there was more to explore down the trail. Then, the first fall, panic, tumble in soft sand. Miss Trunchbull, my motorcycle, was likely displeased. I was more of a road warrior, unprepared for lower Butler Wash Road sand. A grueling quarter-mile felt like a never-ending nightmare, lifting, running, falling. My heavy 600-pound bike seemed to love the soft sand. Falling didn't scare me, but exhaustion and midday heat were brutal. Amid that sandy hell, I couldn't record my struggles, they're in my memory. The fragrance of pine trees smells so good. Behold Abajo Mountain, a guardian of nature and culture. Its rugged slopes host vibrant pine and aspen, with a rich variety of flora and wildlife. Life's interruptions, like a collision with Cameron's bike, were just part of the journey. Now, let's delve into Abajo Mountain's history. Each season brought a unique performance, from wildflowers in spring to golden aspen leaves in autumn. The mountain held ancestral significance for Native American tribes, and archaeological sites revealed its rich history. After conquering Section 1, it was time to camp. Today's ride from the Valley of the Gods to Monticello, marking the first leg of UTBDR, was quite an adventure. The overall riding experience was good, with a beautiful sunrise and enjoyable switchbacks offering stunning views from the top. However, the challenges arose when we tackled the snow rod trail. Particularly the formidable Bluff Wash, which proved to be quite a difficult stretch. It felt like navigating a sand bowl, resulting in numerous falls, perhaps 10 or 15 times. Fortunately, Cameron was there to lend a hand and help me lift my heavy bike. Riding through the sandy terrain tested my skills, tolerance, and raised doubts about whether I should continue. Despite the scorching midday heat leaving me thoroughly exhausted, I persisted and eventually conquered the trail. The remainder of the ride was more enjoyable until an unfortunate collision with Cameron's bike on an uphill curve. This incident caused some damage to his panniers, and my bike got a few scratches and dents. TLC is on the agenda for my bike later. Nevertheless, I successfully completed the first part of the journey, which proved to be quite challenging for me, if not as much for Cameron. Despite the hardships, I gained valuable experience from the ride. Tomorrow is a new day, and I'm optimistic about continuing the route, even though I anticipate some soreness after all the lifting. Peace. But alas, Cameron had to bid adieu. Good morrow. Day 2 on the UTBDR. Now, I'm on Section 2, from Monticello to Dewey Bridge. The route is about 6 hours and 15 minutes to reach the end of section number 2. I have a feeling that I will pause somewhere in Moab. Yes, I am flying solo from here on out. Cameron had to return home, and I am thankful for his assistance during section 1 from Mexican Hat to Monticello. Leaving Abajo Mountain was bittersweet, knowing the desert heat awaited. Spotting ominous clouds over the La Salle Mountains added some worries to the journey. Heading toward the La Salle Mountains, the clouds cleared, but the Lisbon Valley route had its twists. It was one of those quite impassable roads in Utah, with harsh weather conditions causing rapid deterioration due to challenging geography like imposing mountains and regular floods. This route tested my riding skills, played havoc with my deepest fears, and injected adrenaline into my veins. For a moment, I pondered whether I should continue solo. The what-if question danced on the edge of my consciousness. I did trust my bike to conquer the route. I believed in my riding skills and had unwavering faith in completing the trail. However, one of my most significant mistakes was neglecting to check the water level in my hydration storage, leading to water rationing. Lesson learned: always fill all containers, as desert heat makes you thirstier, but your urge to pee might be on vacation. Approaching the La Salle Mountains, the air turned crisp, and the desert scenery gave way to majestic heights. Swapping heat for mountain coolness, I embraced every twist and turn that led to breathtaking vistas. At the summit, lush forests and a sense of accomplishment greeted me. In the mountains, I was more than a rider, I was part of this stunning environment, surrounded by the scent of pine and a cool breeze. From the iconic trails to hidden gems, Moab's BLM lands offered a canvas for exploration, where every journey unveiled a new facet of the desert's beauty. It was a playground for Jeep enthusiasts, high-clearance vehicle fanatics from all corners of the world, mountain cyclists seeking thrills, and even hikers savoring the wilderness. Moab was indeed a tourist magnet. Riding down the Onion Creek Trail, the sun painted a sunset sky, casting long shadows as I journeyed. The second creek crossing baptized me and gave my bike an unexpected onion-flavored bath. It was a quirky twist to the adventure, but I gleefully crossed puddles like a kid on a joyride, losing count of the crossings, savoring the sheer joy of the moment. Finally, Dewey Bridge called. And did you spot those two riders on my right? Don't fret, their story is coming up. I set up camp by the Colorado River, captivated by the Red Canyon walls and a mesmerizing sunset. Bugs and night crawlers surprised me at night. But as the sun rose, I savored the new day. Eager to ride, I packed up and brewed coffee from Hidden Peaks, a Salt Lake favorite. Their Highlander grog blend was a treat. If you're a coffee lover in Salt Lake, check out Hidden Peaks Coffee Roastery. But enough about caffeine adventures, let's get back to the real journey. Revving up my motorcycle, I felt this leg of the journey would be different. Rocky paths and sandy stretches tested my riding skills, with falls teaching me to navigate the rocky terrain. An abandoned house stood, a testament to Utah's preservation of decaying structures. The arid high desert weather preserved them for exploration, unlike the East Coast, where fungi would devour them in mere years under humid conditions. A rugged dirt road led to Sago Canyon, where I planned to explore the ghost town. But this leg of the journey revolved around two brothers, Flint from Idaho and Ranger from Wisconsin. I met Ranger at Dewey Bridge Campground, where we briefly discussed tackling the third section of the UTVDR. They had just completed the Colorado BDR and were now set to conquer the UTBDR, leaving the campground an hour ahead of me. So, a wild journey with two brothers lay ahead. As I neared one of the most challenging trails, a steep, rocky ascent that felt like the path to motorcycle Valhalla, I encountered them. Exhausted and struggling to push one of their bikes uphill, they needed help. I wished I'd arrived sooner, but I did what I could to support their uphill battle. Ranger lost traction on the gravel hill and took a tumble. They'd been wrestling with the bike for over an hour, and it took a toll on my energy, but I was glad to assist. After assessing the trail, I made some adjustments to our route. You see, that road was gnarly on an entirely new level. Shortly afterward, my pannier decided it had had enough of being attached to my bike and made a daring escape. I rode for miles, blissfully unaware of my lightened load. What a bummer. I turned back to look for it. The brothers kindly picked it up where it fell off, and we met halfway, and then they accompanied me. I found myself cruising down the highway, moving ever closer to my rendezvous with Wellington. A critical moment came, forcing a choice: continue through a potentially treacherous trail or backtrack for an alternative route. Doubts and uncertainties weighed heavily on my mind. In such moments, the responsibility of a lone rider in the wilderness becomes evident. Like a ray of hope through dark clouds, a truck approached from the other side. I seized the chance, shouted for help, and suddenly, two young men emerged. They had been surveying the trail but were about to turn back due to the washed-out road. Fate placed them there at the right moment, and they chose to stay with me for my safety. As we continued along the washed-out road, a cruel twist of fate led to my losing control of my bike and colliding with a stubborn rock. My trusty steed was left with a damaged foot shifter, and I was left with a profound sense of vulnerability. At this juncture, I realized the limits of my physical and mental endurance. The desert heat had drained my energy, and I was a rider pushed to the brink. With my spirits hanging by a thread, Kurt and Fernando, who had come to my rescue, offered a lifeline. They suggested I join them in their truck while Kurt rode my motorcycle. Their unwavering support in a situation where trust is hard to come by was heartwarming. During our journey, I talked to Fernando and learned he had served in the army and was stationed in my home country, Lithuania. Goosebumps tingled down my spine as I marveled at the fate of our connection, appreciating life's intricate web of chance encounters and shared experiences. Fernando told me that heavy rains had damaged the Price Canyon route to Salt Lake a few days earlier. This confirmed my decision to pause my journey. I realized I should return later and finish the route in better conditions. An hour later, we reached their home, and I, still in my riding gear, slumped onto their couch, trying to process the emotions from my journey. After a hot shower and a delicious grilled cheese sandwich courtesy of Fernando, we found ourselves laughing heartily at a Monty Python movie. It was a testament to the movie's unique charm that it could bring such laughter in an unlikely situation. The following morning, still worn out from the previous day, I decided to head home and regroup. However, the backcountry route had more in store for me. The call of the backcountry echoed in my ears, and I vowed to return and conquer the entire trail. On the journey home, my thoughts turned to the unfinished chapters of my UTBDR adventure. The road presented challenges but also revealed the kindness of strangers, the unpredictability of nature, and the spirit of the lone rider. So, dear watchers, my story takes a brief hiatus, but rest assured, the Utah Backcountry Discovery Route beckons, and I will answer that call. Let the winds of fate carry me to new horizons, challenges, and triumphs, for the road stretches onward, and the journey is its reward.